Hello, everyone. It's me, Lewis by Raven, 33-year veteran comic science fiction fantasy horror and role-playing games, and it is Tuesday manga instead of Monday manga because last night the power went out at the house and we were gone without power for about 2.5 hours. The whole neighborhood. I don't know if a transformer or got hit or wire. Something happened with the the whole section of the area was gone for about 3 hours. So by the time I got it ready, it just wasn't worth trying to put it on last night. So anyway, be sure to hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons if you would please to help support my channel. I always appreciate that. It is topic tonight is for Kaiju number 8, volumes 2 and 3. If you missed volume 1, there is a link to that video in the description of this video. It was aired last Friday as part of our special Halloween event. And you may have heard the kitty crying, and you might see him over my shoulder over here on this side. Yes, you want to be on the TV? You want to come up here? Come on. Here he is, everybody. The Midnight Monster is here. Orange and black. Yes, we haven't got over our Halloween yet. It's a coincidence, folks. Anyway, this is the first 2 episodes today. We're going to also have crowdfunding later this evening. I don't know, I think about 9 o'clock. But anyway, let's go ahead and get on with our review for tonight. Kaiju number 8, volumes 2 and 3 for $9.99 each. Publisher Shonen Jump Viz Media. Creator Naoya Matsumoto. U.S. translation by David Evelyn. Art touch-up and lettering by Brandon Bovia. Designed by Jimmy Pressler and Carla Clark. Genre, Kaiju Super Battle and Science Fiction. These issues were released originally in April 5th, 2022 and July 12th, 2022. And what it's about. After revealing his true nature to his co-workers during a combat mission, Kafka, also known as Kaiju 8, is a kaiju, one of the strongest ever. The humanoid kaiju was surprised to learn that there were no fatalities before disguising as a human and joining co-workers at the Monster Reapers. And the Japanese anti-kaiju defense force Vice Captain Shohiro Hoshina enrolls Kafka as a cadet rather than as an officer, privately voicing suspicions about the Kaiju 8 character. After 2 months of intense training, Kafka and the other rookies are deployed to their first mission, tackling a Yoju offspring of a mushroom-like Hanju in Sagamihara, which Mina, the 16-year-old warrior girl, dispatches easily. Kafka notices, however, that the slain Yoju have reproductive organs, and the humanoid kaiju reveals itself to Reno and Hikaru. Kafka and Hikaru realize that the sudden radio silence means trouble, and K8 rescues Reno and Haru in the first volume here. What did I think of this volume? Well, some of the logic of the story is lacking. It's extremely unlikely that Kafka, Kaiju number 8, is going to be accepted into the ranks of the Japanese anti-kaiju defense force after he reveals his true nature. More likely they would capture him and want to torture, kill, or dissect him to see how he came to exist. Who knows, maybe that option is still on the table given the vice captain's disdain and suspicions, but I'm just figuring that there's some mad scientist in their ranks just itching to experiment on Kafka. The crew is adjusting and training as a team reasonably well. And it's obvious that they're rookies and probably would get wiped out if Kafka weren't around as a member of the team, not only as Kaiju 8, but as an experienced Kaiju cleaner, because he knows pretty much all these little things from the anatomy of cleaning up what's left of the monsters after the soldiers have destroyed them. And he sees little things about the environment, or he notices things that rookies certainly would not recognize. So he's helping keeping them alive. He also gives them information that they otherwise wouldn't have to strategize and prepare on their feet, as it were. It sort of proves that every combat team should probably have an experienced cleanup person amongst the team, provided that said person is capable of the physicality of the combat. The art in Volume 2 is steadily improving. I like how the other humanoid kaiju opposite Kafka have joined the Monster Sweepers, because there's another one that's an exact opposite of Kafka, who was a monster cleaner, who's now the kaiju joining the force, defense force. And anyway, he's learning of his enemy's strategies and plans by hiding amongst them, exactly as the opposite of Kafka does, hiding his K8 side initially. It's a nice juxtaposition of context. I also like how both volumes have a different color cover, as all of the volumes for this series do, which makes it a lot easier to determine whether or not you have the issue. When all the covers look alike in design and color scheme, you can sometimes pick a book up that you already had and just didn't realize it because either you hadn't gotten around to reading it yet, or the cover just doesn't register your mind as something you already have. And here we go with Volume 3 and what it's about. K8 knocks down the humanoid kaiju in his rescue of Reno and Aharu, but it escapes after objective reinforcements distract K8. As news reports name it Kaiju number 9 or K9, it assumes the identity of another human. I wish it assumed the identity of a large dog instead, just for the obvious joke, but yeah, it is what it is. K8 encounters Shihiro, but manages to flee. 2 weeks later, the team celebrates their successful completion of their first mission, and Kafka is named a regular officer. That night, multiple Hanju invade Tachikawa base, while Shihiro tackles the Daikaiju leader to repel the other kaiju. Kakuro wields a massive axe, see that cover, and Reno uses freeze rounds. What did I think of this one? Well, sometimes I wonder if the translation of the book gives it a wonky sense of timing of events. I mean, there are things that seem to be happening too slowly at times, like some of the character segments, because it's sort of breaking up the action sequences, which is not a bad thing. The reader needs a breather, as do the characters, but it's almost like there's a deliberate rhythm to it, and I can't tell if that's by design of the author or design of the translation. Because sometimes pages will get reshuffled and things like that to make it more sense to American readers and American sensibilities when they do translations from manga. It feels like it's the latter, like it is being reshuffled to me a little bit at times. For example, Kafka was just accepted as a cadet the last volume, and let's say somewhat begrudgingly at that, by Vice Captain Mishina. Now, it's only been one team mission and a whole whopping 2 weeks passed since then, and he's promoted into being an officer. It doesn't work like that now, does it? You kind of have to work for earn it, don't you? And I think, at least a 6-month probationary period as a cadet before you get ranked. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. There are some hilarious visuals, like Akira wielding giant battle axe. Granted, we are already established in volume number 1 that she has amazing strength in her suit. Remember, she picked up Kafka and Reno's cleanup bus and lifted it and balanced it over her head with one hand. So you get the idea that this girl who's just a little slip of a thing. Don't turn sideways, you might disappear. Showing off that kind of physical power display is always a humorous element. And juxtaposition, there's that word again, at play, and it seems like this is something that Matsumoto does extremely well, playing things that are opposing elements off one another for visual effect and for contextual effect within the story. So far, I've been enjoying the series. It's a bit breezy, and some of the character interaction does seem to fall a little bit off, but I think that's more to the translation more so than the story. But it does seem to me that there could have been some page shuffling going on again. There's just some things that feel a little bit out of place. Maybe not to a casual reader, but I'm probably picking up on it because of my own nature and experience as an editor. And maybe regular readers would completely miss those things and be completely unaware. So I'm not going to knock it for that. The first volume, the second volume, volume 2, I'll give a 4. And volume 3, I'm going to give it 3.5. It wasn't quite as good as the second. I think Matsumoto is still kind of trying to build their momentum and find their ground with all the characters still. And if I'm a little bit seeming distracted, it's because the cat is up here on my chest, wanting affection and attention, and he wants to be fed, and he's, what he is. But overall, so far, so good. And next week, we'll do volumes 4 and 5, hopefully on Monday. But I don't know for sure because I just found out I got a bunch more doctor's appointments with my father next week. Next week, or pardon me, next week. There's people have some questions. I forgot. Are you guys going to review My Hero Academia? Not anytime soon. Kaiju 8 will be the topic through the end of the year. Then I'll likely be checking out some more Junji Ito books, which I'll show you guys a little bit later on crowdfunding night and talk, industry talk later tonight. And then we'll get into Battle Angel Alita, which should likely take me through April 2026. And that's if I don't come across some other things I want to discuss in the meantime. Now, that's not to say that My Hero Academia is a bad series. I've read a few of the early issues, and I think I might have even reviewed them in the past. I'm just not that gung-ho on delving into a series that's 42 volumes. And there's a lot more fans out there who are dedicated to that series, and they're doing coverage of each volume and each anime episode, and I just don't know if I want to go down that rabbit hole. I don't know if you guys who are newer remember this, but I did reviews of all 105 episodes of Gatchaman on video a couple of years back, and people got tired of it. And I think if I did that with an MHA or a One Piece or some of these other ones that have a really long, expanded list of volumes, I think people would act similarly and want me to just move on to other things. So next question, will you cover more anime and do comparisons of manga and the anime? Maybe, if I can find something short enough to do a fair comparison. If anybody has some suggestions, let me know. Reach out to me at quothravenlbr72@gmail.com. I would advise that I'm trying to find content that is more PG to PG-13 rating, not the Gunsmith Cats heavy adult vibe. If we're going to do comparatives like that, one time, one version is enough of that. As far as the excessive, well, I don't even know if it's excessive, but things that make you a little bit uncomfortable with the nudity and the sex. We don't really need to have that on the show, thanks. And it all depends also what I can get access to on anime as well. Okay, so next time, next Monday, hopefully, we'll continue our reviews of Kaiju number 8 with volumes 4 and 5. And maybe I'll even draw a live sketch of one of the characters. So tune in next week. And Thursday, Chris Hall, one of my co-hosts, informed me that he's going to need to take a long sabbatical. We don't know how long. So all the stuff that he was planning on reviewing is now off the table because I don't have time to read all of it and review it in his place. For those of you who are looking for Pale Knight or Event Horizon, Dark Descent, or they killed everyone but me, or I was a fashion school serial killer, or whatever. Those were Chris's, and I'm probably not going to be covering those in the future. So this Thursday, it's going to be Electric Cowboy, Mercury Mouse, 10-Ton Titan Terrier, Robo Wolf. John will be covering Venom Black, Red and Blood, I think is what it is. And he'll also be covering Blue Falcon and Dynamite. Then I'll be covering Blink and You'll Miss It. We'll have 2 throwback issues this episode coming up. Magazine number 3 from 1986 from Antarctic Press, and Chaos Gate, which is the Adventurer's graphic novel from Malibu Graphics from 1990, but I think the original stories were 88. Comic Book Creator number 40, and I didn't realize it was 2 Robo-Wolves. My bad. Anyway, Thundercats. John will be doing kind of a prolonged discussion of multiple issues of Thundercats as well, to try and get caught up on that as well. So that'll be Thursday. We do not have a Friday movie at this time because Chris was the one who decided the movie, and he's not going to be on it. We're not going to do that movie. So John and I will discuss that and get that figured out to let you guys know what we're doing tonight. Probably right there on the show. So that'll be at 9 p.m., hopefully. And that's what we got for you so far. So thanks for watching the episode of Kaiju number 8, and we'll see you guys next time. If you want to reach out to me on social media, I can be found at Lewis.BrightRaven on Facebook, at LewisBrightRave2 at the Muskrat channel. You can see more of my artwork at deviantart.com/BrightRaven. You're watching Quoth the Raven, Lewis Bright Raven exclusively on YouTube. If you have questions, comments, suggestions on things you want me or John to review, Quoth the Raven LBR72 at gmail.com. And if I don't get back to you, try Lewis Bright Raven at yahoo.com. That's all for now. We'll see you in a few hours for crowdfunding talk and industry talk. But until then, Quoth the Raven, nevermore.